Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's What's Up Wednesday interview series. If you're new here, we meet with guests of our network and share resources out to our industry. Today, we're fortunate to have Brigid Hunt, who's a program associate with Cooking Matters Colorado. She's going to be covering some important info on recipe frameworks and kind of how those tools can be useful when providers like yourself are trying to source ingredients in a recipe you're liking to use. So, hi, Brigid, welcome, and thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So kick us off today just by briefly explaining your role with Cooking Matters and how long you've been on the team.
Well, I've been with Cooking Matters for about 2.5 years now, and I'm the Southwest Program Associate for Cooking Matters Colorado, based in Durango, Colorado.
Perfect.
I develop and maintain partnerships with local organizations that support families, working with these partners to reach parents and caretakers of young children, and really just ensure that they have the resources and support that they need to plan, shop for, and prepare healthy and tasty meals for themselves and their families.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great overview. So to kind of get into what today's topic is, as we anticipate the continuing supply chain shortages, break it down a little bit for us, kind of what is a recipe framework that's interesting about it?
Well, when cooking, if you think of recipes as a framework and not a hard set of rules, then the
Sure.
recipe can be adjusted to meet your needs. You can make changes based on taste, what's on sale, what's in season, and in the case of supply chain shortage, what's accessible. So when you're meal planning, you can start with an idea like a stir fry or a soup and
Sure.
choose specific ingredients to use based on what's already in your pantry or what leftovers you have, and of course, what's available to you. So personally, I love browsing recipes online to
Mhm.
find inspiration, especially during times when I'm feeling like I'm in a rut, making the same few things.
Right.
I then take these recipes and adjust them to my needs. If the recipe calls for items that are out of my price range, out of
Sure.
season, hard to find, or that I'm allergic to, I don't toss the recipe out. I simply make substitutions.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Good kind of covering several different aspects of that. That's wonderful. So where can providers and the childcare field in general find these framework tools when they're trying to source ingredients for recipes they're used to using?
Our Cooking Matters website, cookingmatters.org, has free educational toolkits available to anyone that wants them.
Okay.
You'll find framework handouts along with other cooking tips and tricks and all our Cooking Matters recipes. And those recipes actually include chef's notes that generally highlight substitution and storage tips as well.
Okay.
Um, the framework idea is supported by knowledge of making substitutions. So I would also recommend checking out our substitution handouts as well.
Okay.
They give you recommendations. So, for example, if you don't have sweet potatoes, use carrots and even
Potatoes.
spices. If you have a recipe that calls for marjoram and you don't have that, use basil, thyme.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
and we have a link that we can chat in.
Yes.
Um,
I'll be sure to
that's
include that. Yep.
Your Family, Your Recipes handout, all
Yes.
about substitutions and frameworks.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll include that. Thank you, Bridget. Awesome. So you talked about that a little bit, but what are a few of the easiest substitutions that may not be obvious to providers kind of day to day?
I would definitely say proteins.
Okay.
Animal proteins tend to be expensive, and as we've seen in the past, year and more, there are shortages that happen. Non-animal derived proteins are available to us. Things like beans and rice to make that complete protein,
Right.
uh, quinoa, lentils, tofu, nuts, seeds. Greek yogurt even is a great source of protein that's often overlooked. And then, as I mentioned before, when we were talking about substitutions, carrots for sweet potatoes,
Yes.
any starch substitutes. Um, we have a Cooking Matters sweet potato fry recipe that's really
Ooh,
great. And it's almost even better utilizing carrots. And carrots tend to be a little more budget friendly sometimes as
sure.
well.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, yeah, so several different ideas there people can kind of run with and kind of
Yeah.
substitute as needed. That's great. So, why is it important to source ingredients during this time of shortages, especially for younger children that they're with on a daily basis in their business?
Yeah, that's a really good question. When we think about where a food or ingredient is sourced or where it comes from,
Mhm.
we can be more mindful of utilizing ingredients that are local, in season, and sustainable. If we're purchasing fresh ingredients, particularly that are traveling a long way to get to us, those fresh options are really not going to be as nutritious because the longer it takes for something to get from its
Mhm.
growing source to our plates, that nutritional level is declining.
Sure.
Frozen and canned options are just fine, but if we are choosing fresh, we have the opportunity to show children produce in their whole form, how to prepare these different foods, and it increases the overall levels of exposure to food for our kids. That can really help young children become more comfortable with trying new things
Sure.
when they learn more about how things grow, where they come from, etc.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's all valid points, especially that length of the time with produce. Yeah, that's huge. And a lot of people overthink that. They just think that it's good and it's there in the grocery store, but yeah, it's sometimes really decreases that value. So very good points there. So what are a few of your favorite quick and easy recipes that may be helpful kind of as we transition into fall for the childcare industry for mealtimes?
I think one of the most popular ones is our tuna boats, and I really love that
Mm.
recipe. One, because it's really fun. It's really high in protein. And it also is something that you can easily change and manipulate to work a bunch of different ways. All of our dip recipes,
Ooh,
um, dips, great way to incorporate more, veggies and even fruit dips in the day. And dips go along great with our veggie superhero activity, which is
ooh,
really fun. Our black bean brownies, whole grain stovetop mac and cheese. We have a lot of kid-friendly recipes that
yeah.
are quick and easy and nutrient dense.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll be sure to include that link there as well at the end. So where can the EC industry watching today go to learn more about this if they have questions about those frameworks and things like that today that are watching?
Well, we have our Cooking Matters website, of
Yep.
course, which I mentioned, and we also have a YouTube channel. So, hands on videos of showing you how to part a chicken, how to do all kinds of things. If you want that visual, that's really great to check out.
Perfect.
Our
Okay,
Facebook page and other social media platforms.
sure.
And then we do have a Cooking Matters app for Android users, which is super
Oh,
helpful.
very cool. Okay, perfect. Yeah, those are several resources they can kind of hop to if they're wanting to learn more. All
Yep.
right, well, just to wrap up here today, feel free to share or kind of leave it open to you. Share any resources or suggestions regarding the frameworks that we talked about today or just in general with our industry watching.
Yeah, I guess I would say food is so important for us,
Hmm.
nutritionally speaking, of course, but it also provides us with a lot of opportunities to work and connect with children in other ways. So, snack and mealtime is a time that children can be working on their motor, math, language, and social emotional skills.
Sure.
Sharing a snack or a meal with a child is a huge developmental opportunity, and it's a great time to connect. So I always just want to remind everyone it's important to remember to have fun
Sure.
and try to associate positive feelings during the times we share meals. For anyone interested, feel free to reach out and learn more about the childcare professional trainings we offer. They're free to partners and participants, home or center based, and you earn continuing education credits through Colorado Shines, which is really
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah, no, that was great. Yeah, good thing to mention there. Okay. Thank you so much, Brigid. That's all I've got for you today. As always, let me know if you have any questions and I'll send anything over your way too if I receive that. But I'll be sure to include those links in all the platforms they could be watching this on. But thank you so much again. We'll give you your day back and bye everyone. Have a good one.
That's great. Thanks, Milana.
Of course.